So it's important to know when the patient is initiating his breaths, his own breaths, and when the machine is initiating the breath, because the cause of the alarm will be different. So if the machine initiates the breath, which is our mandatory type, it does so because a preset signal is met, and that is typically time. And so the machine knows it delivers 10 breaths per minute, which means every 6 seconds a breath is delivered. If the patient initiates the breath, the machine recognizes it as a deviation in pressure, volume, or flow, and depending on how you have the ventilator set up is how that will work. So looking at a couple of graphics on the next slide, we can see where the patient actually initiated an effort. So if we look at the blue arrow pointing to the olive green circle, you can see that between the breaths, the pressure has gone to baseline. We're on a pressure scaler here, pressure time scaler. So as you can see, the pressure goes back to baseline after the initial breath is completed. You can see a small negative deflection from the baseline before the spontaneous breath is given. That's our patient trigger. So in this particular example, the patient trigger is pressure. So the patient generates a certain amount of negative pressure, and then the breath is delivered. On the next breath, you can see in the orange circle, you can see that there's no negative deflection before the machine breath is given, telling us that that's truly a machine-delivered breath. On the next slide, we're looking at pressure support ventilation. So we're looking at all of our breaths being patient-triggered. So if we look at the illustration on the left, in the middle box, the white strip, that's our pressure time scaler, you can see that every breath